Patch 24.6, arguably one of the biggest updates Hearthstone has had in a while, is finally live, so let's talk about it. Now, mainly this is a really big standard expansion and Death Knights coming to Hearthstone and all that cool stuff. There was a big reveal stream, but in the reveal stream, nothing was mentioned about Battlegrounds. But if you look at these patch notes, there's actually a lot that changed. All of the neutral cards I think got changed, new hero, even new quests, so they're spicing up the game a lot. So this should be really big. I'm gonna try and go over it quickly, and maybe in tomorrow's video or in 2 days, we'll go more in depth in how strong I think this is and the balancing and how I think this will change the game. So subscribe for that if you're new to the channel. But let's get started with general text updates. Changed all instances of gain 1 gold this turn only to gain 1 gold. This is not a functional change. Okay, so these are non-functional changes, just rewords. Instead of gain a blood gem, it is now get a blood gem. Sure. New hero is the Jailer, which I know is a card in Standard as well. I don't play Standard, but I've seen it pop up a lot. A Runic Empowerment is a 1 gold hero power. Give a minion +1/+1. Upgrades after 9 friendly minions die. This is a really cool mix between like Khotun and Adwin or Rakanishu, or basically just a blend of all of those bad heroes together. So I'm not sure how good it will be, because at the start it only gives +1/+1. And having 9 die, this reminds me of Ini Stormcoil. Might be pretty slow, but then it will give +2/+2, I think. Then +3/+3, +4/+4. I think in the mid game it's gonna be like what, +10/+10. Actually, that's even gonna be further away from the mid game. I think this is pretty slow and pretty bad so far, first impression. But hey, another random new hero thrown in the game, because that is just what keeps happening. Hero update. So they are also reworking heroes. We just talked about Khotun. So the old hero power was 2 gold. At the end of turn, give a friendly minion +1/+1, repeat 0 times. Now it is at the end of turn, give a friendly minion +1/+1, repeat 0 times. Oh, upgrades after each turn. So you don't have to be pressing this every turn anymore. Well, previously you had to press this on turn 1 and turn 2, and basically every turn if you wanted to get good, well, a good effect and good scaling from it. Now it scales automatically without you having to commit that 2 gold every turn. So this means that you can just set up a good board level normally, and then once you set up your max or your whatever, you can start pressing this button, which I think is decent. It's still not going to be a top tier hero, I'm pretty sure. It is still, I think, kind of gonna lack what other heroes has, but I think it's gonna be more playable. It's definitely maybe a pickable hero now, depending on how much the armor changes. If the armor goes down to 0, that is probably going to be a bad hero. Infinite Toki also changed, so it's still a 1 gold hero power, but now instead of include a minion from a higher tier, it includes 2 minions from a higher tier. Is that broken? Wait, that seems kind of nutty, because if you go to tier 5, you get 2 6-drops in your tavern. Yeah, that seems really good. I think Toki is gonna be rather strong. You probably just want a power level. You could even go 4-on-4 and just farm so many 5-drops. I think Toki is going to be really good. The Red King ult was a passive that just buffs a minion of a specific type with +2/+2, but it swaps each turn. Now it is a 2 gold hero power. Discover a minion of a specific type. Swap each turn. So now you just get a 2 gold discover, basically like Elise. Wait, like Elise, but it's not guaranteed of your tavern tier, so it's slightly worse. And also each turn it's from a random tribe, so very often you don't even want to press your button. Good tempo. Again, a hero that just gets cards for 2 gold is good tempo. It's kind of like Scabs, but the issue is that again you won't be getting good cards necessarily, because Scab steals from your opponents. Opponents usually buy good cards. You will be stuck with getting whatever random tribe you are offered here. I think it's decent. It might even be slightly worse than Old Red King. Old Red King put a lot of stats on the board with the +2/+2 buffs and was able to leverage that into leveling. We'll have to see how it goes. So there's a bunch of heroes that got less armor, a bunch of heroes that got more armor, but I'm not going to go over all of these individually. You can pause the video if you want to check these out. So we get new quests. It seems like they are, I don't know if these are added on top of the existing quests. Maybe that's answered later. But hire an investigator, end your turn with unspent gold 3 times. So 3 times you gotta float gold, or I guess it's X amount of times. This probably changes depending on your quest reward and the hero that you're playing. But floating gold, pretty awkward, but maybe if you're a farm curve, like if you make it work with your turns, this almost guarantees that you get your quest on. Okay, doesn't seem super hard. Crack the case, have friendly minions attack 11 times. Yeah, X amount of times. So having minions attack, this is kind of like having minions die, or it just happens automatically. This should most of the time happen in like a couple turns. You can kind of make sure that if you have like a battle master, it attacks in multiple times, or with deflectables, for example. or a bunch of tokens. But again, it's kind of just like those other quests that just needs minions to die or death rattles to pop or whatever. Okay, these are just added on top. Okay, new Battlegrounds quest rewards. So we also got a bunch of rewards which are more impactful. The Blood Goblet. At the end of your turn, give your rightmost minion attack equal to your missing health. Oh, so basically if you are low on health, let's say you're power leveling or taking greedier lines, you're just gonna add the health that you're missing as attack onto your rightmost minions, which is a little bit weird because you prefer leading with the Flexible or with the cleaves like Hydra. So not being able to buff your first minion but instead buffing your last is gonna make it a bit awkward because you'll be buffing stuff that, you know, is positioned poorly. I don't know, it seems like there's just a bunch of better quest rewards than this out there. You also don't really want to be taking too much damage, but maybe in some specific cases, maybe it's easy to obtain. It could see play. Essence of Xerus. At the end of your turn, add a Shift of Xerus to your hand, which transforms into... Oh, you get Xerus? The end of your turn. So every turn you're gonna get a Shifter Xerus. That is just RNG random bullshit. I'm kind of sad to see them introduce this, because I know we're just gonna be losing games to people who get random gas coilers or Atisas or like sick drops from this quest reward early on. So I hope this is not too easy to obtain, but I think it will be because you just get Shifter Xeruses, but it's so high variance. We'll have to see how this plays out, but I'm not too happy to see this. Hidden Treasure Vault. At the start of your turn, gain 1 gold and it upgrades each turn. So every turn you basically just get more gold. It depends on how easy it is to complete, but if you could do this in 1 or 2 turns, this is insane. You're going to be super ahead of the entire lobby. Depending on if this caps on 10 gold or not. I think it caps at 10. I'm not sure. If it doesn't cap at gold, yeah, this is absolutely broken. It's kind of like a Gallowix on steroids. So depending again on how hard this will be, and if I read it correctly, I just understand that it gives you +1 gold every single turn. So the turn after you get +2 gold and +3 gold. Yeah, this should be good then. And I think it doesn't cap at 10 gold, otherwise it would make very little sense. Ethereal Evidence. At the start of every turn, choose from 2 new rewards. Oh, you basically every turn just get to switch from quest reward. I think that's pretty cool. I like this one a lot. It's kind of like the Panda hero Master Wen that can switch hero powers. Now you can just be flexible, maybe switch into this, maybe, I mean, this is probably not that good to switch into because every turn you could get a Xerus, Blood Goblet, some of the existing ones where you, for example, have Hidden Body, discover some cards. So I like this. I think this one will be fun to play with. Volatile Venom. Your minions have +8/+8. After they attack, they die horribly. So you basically just... Wait, isn't this just like the +12/+12 across the boards? The staff? I forgot what the full name was. But yeah, you just give +12/+12 to the board. Now instead you give +8/+8, but they die after they attack. So it's just strictly worse. Probably easier to obtain. A big tempo boost, which is toxic to face, but it translates worse into the late game because your minions will die. I don't really like this design. I might be understanding it wrong again, but we'll have to see how it plays out. It just seems like a worse or a more annoying version of the staff. The Golden Hammer. Spellcraft, make a friendly minion golden until next turn. So you can basically just perma-golden, or not perma-golden, you can golden something on your board every turn. So you don't get the quest reward because you're not playing it, and you could be flexible with it, I guess. Early on you could use this on like an Avenge card, try and get some milk out of that, some cards. Then higher up, if you hit a brand, you can just golden a brand and then use some battle cries to cycle. They can sell out of the brand, get a Manted Queen, golden that for the end game, or a Selfless. So I like this a lot. It's very flexible. It allows you to high roll pretty hard, but also switch game plans or directions depending on where you use this. Yeah, this one is pretty cool. Sinful Medallion. After you play a minion, give 2 other friendly minions of its tavern tier +2/+2. Wait, is this available on Millhouse or on Gallowix? This could just be a cheese thread, right? Yeah, this could be a cheese thread. If you play a cycle comp, like a tier 1 comp, oh my god, wait. I'm calling it here first, okay? You're listening right now, you're the first one to hear this, but if people are gonna stay down in tier 1 and just basically buy Salamentals and Alley Cats and use this quest reward to buff up Pebbots, for example, or other random 1-drops. I think we're gonna see that. I think I'm calling it here. This is gonna be a strat that people will do. It reminds me of the buddy, the Whack Toggle buddy, I think. Whenever you play the minion from a different tribe, you give +1/+1 to the minions on your board of different tribes. It's kind of the same deal. Kidnap Sec. Spellcraft, choose a non-golden minion, add it to your hand. So Spellcraft means that it comes back every turn, right? Or is this also one-time use? I feel like this comes back every every turn, so you can just bounce something back in your hand. That is non-golden, so you can't farm triple rewards, but if you have a lookout, or again, a lot of these work pretty well with Murlocs, which is pretty sad, because Murlocs are in a really toxic states. I'm hoping they do something about that, but again, there's a lot more that we're gonna cover. It seems playable, seems pretty good. Again, it's gonna depend on your board. Sometimes this is completely useless, like you don't care about bouncing random cards to your hand. This is mainly when you have battle cries that you like keeping on the board, or that are just sitting there. Battlegrounds quest and quest reward updates. So finding the murder weapon has its baseline reduced, so it is now easier to complete. Anima Bribe has been removed. Oh, I kind of liked Anima Bribe. I think it was a cool playstyle, so that is now gone, sadly. Theotar's Parasol is now back, which is the stealth one. Soul and Gold has its appearance rate reduced again. That does not address the issue. They already made Soul and Gold harder and appear less. Now they make it appear even less, but it's still available in beast lobbies. You will still see Leaper Soul and Gold comps, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I still don't like the solution. Now, new minions. We're gonna start off with the Dozy Whelp, which is a new tier 1 dragon. I'm not sure what this replaces. I'm pretty sure they will tell us later. It is a 0-free taunt, so another 0 attack dragon with taunt as well. Whenever this minion is attacked, gain +1 attack permanently. I assume this replaces Chroma Wing then. This is a cool design, actually. The fact that it has taunt is pretty bad in the late game, like later down the line as well. We don't have ways or move taunt right now, but still, this is pretty good because it's permanent scaling. So if you can scale up the health, let's say you're playing Pyramid, this could get really big really quickly. And again, it's just a dragon, so if you find an Adina and then taunt that, or have multiple taunts, this could stick on the board. I kind of like it. And it's really weak when you first pick it up. I mean, a 1-free is not that weak, but if someone has a token, it's a 2-free already. Impatient Scout is a new tier 2 neutral, 1 attack, 1 health. When you sell this, discover a Tavern tier 1 minion. That is a really... Wait, and upgrades each turn. That is a really interesting token concept. Basically, it is just a 1/1 that sits on your board. But you could sell it right away and just get a 1-drop. So you could cycle it like a token, like you would with, for example, the Murloc on tier 2, that you sell and you get a new Murloc in hand. But it upgrades each turn, meaning if you keep this on your board, it is just gonna, I think, upgrade to tier 2, then tier 3, then tier 4. So you could get to high tier cards earlier, if I'm understanding this correctly. You will have to sacrifice tempo and health because it's a 1/1, but you could get some super early 6s. I like the design. I think it's really spicy. I'm just a little bit scared that, again, it's a bit of RNG, because if you get a good 5-drop, you're just like, imagine if it's a Mama Bear that is really good, but imagine if it is something useless or something just that is not going to help you too much, like a Baron without even Beast in a lobby, for example. This is gonna hurt. Yeah, I think it's cool design. I think this will lead to some nice high rolls that don't feel too bad, because again, you have to play with a 1/1 on the board for a while. Oh wait, I had Discover. I almost looked over the Discover tag. That is really good. I thought I was just gonna give you a random one, but Discover makes this a million times better. So I take back what I just said. This is super good. Bristlemane Scrapsmith is a new tier 3 Quillbore. This might replace the 4-free, the Taunt color. So it is a 4/4 after a friendly taunt minion dies, get a blood gem. Taunt compass back, question mark. If you have multiple taunts, you get multiple gems. Oh, this might replace Gem Splitter, actually. Probably replaces Gem Splitter, because that, I like Gem Splitter a lot. It's a pretty strong card on tier 3 though. It enables so many cool compositions, like Max then suddenly going to Shaker Comp easily. You can go to Agam pretty easily. But now instead of having to pop shields, you will have to taunt your board to get gems. And the taunts need to die, so if they're pretty big, you might not even get any value out of this. So it's a worse Gem Splitter, but I think Gem Splitter was too strong in general, so I think it's, again, an interesting design, because we haven't seen any taunt synergies in a while. Baseless Disciple is a new tier 3. It says tier 4 here, but it says it's tier 3 in the graphics. So it's a 6/4 battle cry, transform a minion into one of a higher tier. Well, you could use this both in the shop, but also on the board, I assume, because it doesn't specify. Meaning you could use this on the shop, see if you get something good. If not, just roll past it. It's like a worse Toki hero power then, essentially. Or you just use this on your board and try and hit something good, which is amazing if you triple, right? Let's say you triple into something that, like, you're on tier 4, triple into a 5-drop, the 5-drop is bad, use the Faceless Disciple, suddenly you have a 6-drop. So this way you can kind of cheese getting higher tier cards again on lower tiers. And it works with brand. If you have a brand, it's going to trigger multiple times, and ta-da. I feel like there's a lot of new cards here that are kind of cheating higher tiers, like the 2-drop now, this guy, and then I think there was also a quest that helped with it. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of Early 6 drops. Yeah, Desera's quest. There's gonna be a lot of early 5 and 6 drops this now, meaning more high roll. Vigilant Stoneborn is a Tavern 4, neutral as well, a 2/6 battle cry, give a minion +6 health and taunt. So this is a new card that is gonna supply taunt on your board, but I like the health boost as well with it. It's a neutral, so it's just gonna be something that you pick up if I guess you have some taunt synergies with this Kibler, or if you like the health, or something has taunt already. With Brand +12 health is a lot, so it's not negligible. Again, interesting design. For a 4-drop, I don't really like, imagine tripling into this, that would feel awful, but it is what it is. Ball of Minions is an all-tribe card, so kind of like Amalgam. A 5/5, when you sell this, give it stats to your random friendly minion. Oh, I love this. It's an amalgam, but again, kind of like Anima Bribe, the stats don't go to waste. So no matter how you buff this, no matter what you use to buff up the stats, if you sell this, it's gonna land to something random. So random is bad, but you can kind of like guide it. If you sell off your board properly, you can make sure this lands onto a Hydra or a Cleave or onto a Divine Shield card. A really cool design, actually. I like it a lot. It never feels bad to hit this early, because scaling it, you know it doesn't go to waste. Then Interrogator White Mane is a tier 5 neutral, 8/5, so not worst, not the best stat line, it's fine. Start of combat, give the enemies opposite to this taunt. They take double damage, but this seems like a tech card, right? Maybe this replaces Leroy? I hope not, because Leroy I think is alright, but this way you're able to get rid of, for example, a early Baron when you're facing Leapers, because you can position this in the back, and then positioning is going to be super important with this. You basically, wherever you put this on the board, card opposed to it is going to get taunt and takes double damage, meaning it's just going to instantly die. Wait, this is so broken with Hydra. Let's say you lead with a really big Hydra, very often you just go into the corner, right? Or into the Divine Shield taunt or whatever, so you can't lead with it. Now you can play this 5-drop, then put it somewhere in the middle card in your opponent's board gets taunt, and Hydra has a chance of just hitting there and completely destroying whatever comp they have. This is a very big disruption, but I like it a lot. I think it's a very cool design. It'll be really hard to play around, I think almost impossible, but we'll have to see how this shapes up the game. Either this is going to be one of the most toxic cards we've seen in a while, or something that saves the state of the game. Another 5-drop neutral, a 3/7, whenever this attacks, give your pirates +2/+1 permanently. Wait, that's kind of like Eliza. Are they getting rid of Eliza? So it's a new pirate that they're getting. Maybe replacing Hogger? Oh, I hope not, man. If Hogger is gone from the game, I'm gonna cry. But yeah, it's an Eliza on tier 5, but it's only when it attacks that it buffs the pirates behind it. It doesn't actually, like when other pirates attack, it doesn't buff your board anymore, so it's just a worse version. Oh, but it is permanently. Wait, I forgot about the permanent tag. I still don't think I like it. It's such boring scaling. You put it first, it's like a worse Light Fang. The Walking Fort is a tier 6 neutral, now a 4/6. At the end of your turn, you give 4 friendly taunt minions +4/+4. They're really trying to push taunt come back, okay? So I can see some of the taunt synergies now and the decisions they made, but I don't know if I like this direction of taunt. But +4/+4 is a lot. Giving just +4/+4 at the end of turn to, well, 4 as well, it's specified here. That is a lot of stats. That's +16/+16 that you kind of get for free. You will have to play with a 4/6 neutral though, which kind of feels bad. But I could see this be real, like a real comp. You could just taunt some Divine Shields with the 4-drop, the neutral, then you farm some gems with it. Maybe you can get some Agam value, some Menagerie, just sell your big ball of minions, use this card to disrupt your opponent, and taunt does not matter, you just scale like a maniac. I think it's cool. I think interesting. So still have to wait to see what they removed, but for now we're first going to see some minion updates. So Prophet of the Boar was a 3/3, it is now a 2/3 instead, and once per turn after you play the Kibler it gained a blood gem. Now it has taunt, and after you play a Kibler get a blood gem, but it's not once a turn. So you can just cycle Quillbores and this will keep giving gems. Well, that's pretty cool. So they, for some reason, slapped taunt on this. It's a neutral itself as well. So they want to bring back the neutral taunt comp. But yeah, it's a better version just because you can get multiple gems even if the stats are a little bit worse. Zaragoza used to permanently keep enchantments from combat. Now it permanently keeps enchantments from... Oh, permanently keeps your enchantments from combat. Okay, so it doesn't keep enchantments from... what your opponent does? Wait, it's probably just a text update. Zaragoza will function the same way as it does now. Okay, yeah. So here are the removed cards. Spawn of Nazov, the 2-drop that basically is just a very boring tempo pick. Gen Splitter, which kind of what I expected. Reef Explorer, I think was a really cool card. A little bit sad to see it gone, but I think for the neutral buff. Nightmare Amalgam. Oh, so they just replaced Amalgam. Amalgam on tier 3 is now gone. We got tier 4 one, which has more applications. Nosy Looter. Wait, they brought another tier 5 in the game. Wait, I'm confused. Wait, they removed the tier 6 part and put another tier 5 part in the game. So now we have Hogger, we have Tony, and we have the new 5-drop pirate all on tier 5. And we have nothing on 6 for pirates, right? Okay, that'll be an interesting change. And then Irel, which hasn't been in the game for that long, but it's a neutral that buffs your board once it attacks. So it was pretty strong. A little bit sad to see it go as well. Now, Menagerie Mug has been returned, so that is basically the downgrade of Jug. That is the 2-drop that is a 2/2 neutral. Gives +1/+1 to, I think, 3 different tribes. And then Battle Bash, which is the cosmetics that they already showed previously. And that is it for Battlegrounds. Now, I'm gonna go over these cards more in depth in one of the coming days, maybe give them a rating and try and sleep on it. So I hope you enjoyed this little bit of a breakdown. Don't forget to share your own thoughts down below and maybe give the video a like if you enjoyed it. That would help me out a lot. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.